vfJAM Live. We got Benny Greb sitting here. Let's go. Benny, you're real, man. That's awesome.
I am real.
I know, wow.
Yeah, sometimes I don't feel real in the morning, but I am real.
Have you ever considered a career in stand-up comedy by chance?
No. For a German, it's the most unlikely career step.
I feel like it comes very natural to you.
Yeah, but I think what I figured out, like with many careers, when you do things hobby-ish, you can be okay good, and people are like, you're so good at it. And then if you would actually, and then you think for yourself, yeah. You know, when you're stupid enough to get your ego up,
yeah,
you can then be like, oh yeah, I can totally do this, you know? And I think I would really suck as a stand-up comedian.
Once the execution came, it'd be really bad.
But if people like here, when people are waiting for hours and hours, I'm better than nothing. You know?
So here we are on this special day. You closed out an amazing day of drummers, and it was such a special performance, and we were all like excited to see you. And I know that you're a huge Sinatra fan.
Oh, I am.
And here we are, we're filming this at East West Studios in Studio One, which is the Sinatra room.
Mm-hmm.
Frank Sinatra's from New Jersey. I just wanted to.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. My co-host, Marc Guiliana. How does that feel, man? Like, have you been here before? Have you tracked in here? Were you thinking about it when you were playing? Because I felt like you had it in you, man.
What? The Sinatra thing?
You had the Sinatra thing.
I don't know about that. I would, on a day
You were
like
the
today, I would
drum
have loved
crooner.
to chain smoke, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm afraid I don't have many traits of Sinatra. But it is amazing to be here, definitely. It's my first time in this studio here. And it's also amazing, this room back there, like the Wrecking Crew.
The Wrecking Crew room
thing
is
with
right
the
here.
Brian Wilson pet sounds and everything. It is a good reason to. There are many bad reasons in life to get sentimental, but this is a very good reason to get sentimental.
Yes, most definitely. We got a question over here from Adam.
Sure. Hi, Benny.
Hey, man.
How are you?
Very good.
Your performance was incredible, man. Really a joy to watch you play every time, man.
Thank you.
So, you obviously have two of, like Elmo talked about earlier, some of the best-selling, DVDs, if not the best-selling educational DVDs in the drum world. Language of Drumming and The Art and Science of Groove. So as an educator, I certainly know what it's like to come up with a drum lesson, and larger than that, to come up with a concept. But to come up with something that is as wide as a concept that could fit into a DVD that takes so, hours and hours to explain and articulate. How do you not only come up with a concept that's that large, but also, is there another one in the works, and how do those come to you? Because it's not just a snap idea. These are massive ideas that obviously take hours to articulate. So I'm just curious how something that big comes to fruition.
Yeah. First of all, I have to humbly admit that a lot of these things weren't my inventions or my ideas, so to speak. So The Language of Drumming is a DVD about repertoire and simplifying and structuring and organizing repertoire. It's basically about an elegant organization for like all the phrases that can happen. So you're better prepared with your muscle memory, but also in your headspace of like, I have an idea, I want to do that, and then the body usually says, no, we haven't done this in this form, and this is when you then get, and then something very dangerous happens, because you have this, and then you become careful. So you then go like, oh no, this felt horrible, and then you try to play it safe, and then you try to play things that you always play, and then you get bored, and then you maybe, let's not be negative here, but maybe you start to play the bass. Horrible things can happen. So don't. This is one thing where it's like, if you prepare those phrases and in different combinations then, and actually it's only 24 of them, which was very relieving for me. I thought like, it's millions and billions, and I gotta step by step. So if you practice those 24 phrases, which are of course all stolen from the Indian rhythm system, right? So it is a mixture between research and elegant organization in a sense. Like Einstein said, like, explain things as easy as possible, as simple as possible, but not any simpler. So you can still get the full thing and the full value of it, but you don't waste anyone's time, hopefully. And so that was the language of drumming thing. The art and science of group was even more like research and like trying to find out like what is what, and to define like groove, to find exercises for groove, to find and to answer your question finally, I'm sorry for taking that much time. Ideas like that come out of my own frustration, to be like, oh no, I suck at this.
Problem solving,
Yeah, I need to find a solution for this, and this doesn't work. So I found out, for example, that many people always told me like a quarter note click is the solution to everything. If you practice to a quarter note click, your subdivision gets better. You hold tempo better, right? You don't get faster and slower. You don't. Your flow is better. Your feel is better. Like everything gets better. And I found out that this was not the case for me. Like a quarter note click is great for some things.
I heard your eighth note click on this track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then an offbeat click is great for other things, for subdivision and stuff. And then a gap click is way better to practice keeping tempo, for example. So where it's like tick, 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 tick.
So is
tick, tick, tick. Ah, damn it. You know?
So would it be safe to say that DVD 3 could present itself when you run into another problem?
Oh, I run into many problems, and I already have something, but it won't be a DVD. I'm writing a book right now about effective practicing.
I will buy that book then.
So thank you very much.
Can you give us a little hint of something that you already uncovered or discovered in your diving into the book?
Oh yeah. Oh gosh. I mean, one, there is simple stuff. I mean, the stuff that I like, there is some very, I don't have the great English word for it, some very grabbable stuff. That's not the right word.
Achievable?
Right?
Great word.
Yeah. We know what you mean. We use that word a lot in the US
I
now.
need this kind of like confidence on my right side on a 24-hour basis. Like,
You're doing so great right now.
keep going. Very good. Oh gosh. So some stuff is very grabbable, which is like writing stuff down, like becoming clear about what you want to practice, writing stuff down, journaling a little bit, measuring. So our brain is built in a certain way that even like social media and stuff was not able to change in the last couple of years. And we like A/B comparisons. That really is very impressive to us. That's why these stupid diet pill commercials have before and after photos. That's just very clear and very impressive to us, to have someone that's unhappy and someone who's very thin and suddenly has a tan, and I don't know why, but you see like A, B, and you think, oh my God, I want to have this after every practice session.
Yeah.
Not in photo form, but of course in audio form or written down, where I really see like, okay, 10 minutes ago it was oh shit, and I turn out off the recording, and then 10 minutes later it was oh shit, and it's the beautiful thing about this is that way you get a gratification, you get a tap on your shoulder and think like you know, and for 10 minutes that's not bad.
Right.
In my case, it's not bad. But another key of that, for example, is also usually we only become happy and feel completion and be like, oh, nice, when we finish something completely. So we find it usually very hard to reward us for in-between steps. But if you do something that has to do with art or self-development, like muscle memory even, or changing your brain, which is what we do when we do coordination stuff, actually, stuff grows together physically in the brain. It's insane when you think about it. That takes a little bit of time. So if you do anything that takes that amount of time, if you don't reward yourself and measure yourself in the middle every once in a while, that's where motivation gets drained after a while, because you don't stay at it. It's like, but if you have this, so if you show yourself your process constantly, discipline becomes obsolete. And this is something that's powerful. And another trick that is very simple, I call this trick, leave your luggage at the door, which is when I go into the practice room, I stop for a second, and I have a little piece of paper there, and a couple of pieces actually, and I think like, what is on my mind right now? Like, oh, I have to write this email. Oh, I have to buy cat food. Or I should. And I don't have a cat, by the way. It's just an example, okay?
You just buy it.
But
You're doing great.
thank you. So I write these things down, and then my subconscious can let go of the job of reminding me constantly, because that's what the brain does. It has no sense of time and space. That's why you think of buying cat food and buying batteries when you're with your girlfriend, and when you're at the supermarket, you think of your girlfriend and forget to buy the batteries, because it's not time relevant and space relevant. So, but that's what are all those thoughts when you try to play and come up with something creative.
Right.
You think of something else, you can't focus. So when you leave your luggage, your mental luggage at the door, or for example, before you go to sleep, it's also a great thing to just write down what's on your mind and be like, what is on my mind? This. And then you place it in front of the door, so your subconscious knows, even your stupid self will stumble over that again. I don't have to remind this guy. So I can be dumb and happy and play the drums, and then I'll be like, and then I'll walk towards the door and like, what is this? And then I buy cat food, for example. Am I still doing? Okay. So these are like two things that I described, and then you can put it together in really a system that just puts the wheel a little bit better in motion.
Oh, dude, that's amazing. I want the Google Chrome extension that's just Marc going, you're doing great. Every 10 minutes during emails, something, maybe studying. Maybe you could put that in the book, audio book.
Yeah. I would love to interview for a podcast, by the way.
Let's do it.
Great. I have to say that I'm very, very confused by the American way of using language, because it's not my first language, right? So I try to do my best, but you always use words that are negative for great stuff. So, for example, SPUT was standing next to Marc after they played this amazing piece yesterday with this incredible theme, this incredible melody, and I sit there at the mixing board and I'm like, this is amazing, and they supposedly felt the same way, but they don't say it. So SPUT comes to Marc and says like, man, that melody was bad. and I'm like, so I'm close to my feminine side. I'm like, you're right. I'm like, how can he say? And he's like, oh man, and he's like, no, seriously, man, it's just stupid. And I'm like, oh my god, oh gosh, and like, you just killed that tune. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I felt a little insecure in the beat part, but I didn't think I killed the whole tune. Yeah. And then the next part is like, oh, you burned the house down. I was like, I didn't burn the house down. I maybe played a couple of mistakes, but so this is very confusing for me.
You just walk in on the interview?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You confused Benny with your negativity. That was actually
No.
positive. It was actually a compliment.
Lingo.
Yeah, it's lingo.
When you say like, oh, that is bad, man, that means it's good, right? Yeah.
Unless it isn't.
Unless it isn't bad.
Welcome to America.
Basically a confidence level.
Yeah.
If you know
Then I'm screwed. I was honestly was confused. Of course, I now, burning the house down I knew. But like, bad or stupid, like, I never heard that before.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. If you would have said it to me, I would have been like,
You know what, Benny? Maybe you shouldn't be listening in on SPUT and myself's conversation.
Oh, maybe that's actually the point that we needed to
say
say.
that to you. I would I probably wouldn't say that to you.
okay.
I probably have been like, Benny, man, that was really great.
Well, Benny, let me just tell you, you did great, and thank you so much for doing this, man. It's a pleasure talking to you and watching you play always, bro.
It's a big pleasure to be here. Thank you.